The Invisible Ceiling: Breaking Barriers in Corporate America. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here today. I'm truly honored to stand before you to share some profound insights I gained from an extraordinary conversation with SaToria Youngblood, a remarkable trailblazer who has dedicated her career to empowering Black women in corporate America. SaToria isn't just a diversity advocate. She's a revolutionary force who has personally mentored over 300 Black women executives, created leadership programs that have transformed entire organizations, and fearlessly challenged systems that were never designed for equity. Her work has not only opened doors for countless individuals, but has fundamentally reshaped how we understand workplace dynamics and human potential. What I'm about to share with you today might challenge some deeply held beliefs about meritocracy in our workplaces. We often hear that hard work alone determines success, that talent rises naturally to the top, that our corporate structures reward excellence regardless of gender or race. But what if I told you that for many Black women in America, the rules of the game are fundamentally different? This is not about pointing fingers or assigning blame. This is about recognizing a reality that exists for millions of talented professionals who face invisible barriers every single day. And more importantly, it's about understanding how we can all participate in dismantling these barriers. The data tells a compelling story. According to McKinsey's Women in the Workplace report, for every 100 men promoted to manager, only 58 Black women receive the same opportunity. Black women represent about 7.4% of the US population, but hold just 1.6% of vice president positions in Fortune 500 companies. And perhaps most tellingly, while 3.8% of all corporate board seats are held by women of color, Black women hold less than 1.5% of those seats. But beyond these statistics are real human experiences, real talents being underutilized, and real innovations never seeing the light of day because of systemic barriers. During my conversation with SaToria Youngblood, she shared a profound observation that has stayed with me. She said the most painful ceiling isn't the glass one you can see through. It's the concrete one you don't even know exists until you've crashed into it repeatedly. This concrete ceiling represents the combined effect of racial and gender bias that creates unique challenges for Black women in professional settings. It manifests in countless subtle ways, from being interrupted more frequently in meetings to having ideas attributed to others to being labeled as aggressive for displaying the same leadership qualities praised in their colleagues. SaToria described a phenomenon she calls the burden of exceptionalism, the unspoken requirement that Black women must be exceptional just to be considered adequate. As she put it, when you're a Black woman in corporate America, being good enough is never good enough. You must be extraordinary just to get a seat at the table. And once there, you must be perfect to keep it. This burden creates immense pressure. Imagine walking into every meeting knowing that any mistake you make won't just reflect on you as an individual, but will be generalized to all people who look like you. Imagine knowing that your performance reviews will likely be scrutinized more harshly than your peers. Imagine being constantly caught between authenticity and assimilation, wondering which parts of yourself you need to hide to be accepted. But here's where the story takes an interesting turn. SaToria emphasized that recognizing these barriers isn't about victimhood, it's about clarity. When you understand the game you're actually playing rather than the game you're told you're playing, she said, you can develop strategies that work. And this brings me to the central idea I want to share with you today. The most powerful response to systemic barriers isn't just individual resilience, though that matters enormously, it's collective action and structural change. SaToria shared with me the concept of strategic visibility, the deliberate creation of networks and platforms where Black women's contributions can be seen and valued. This isn't just about individual networking, it's about creating systems where excellence is recognized regardless of who displays it. She described how, after years of watching talented Black women colleagues receive pink slips while underperforming men received golden parachutes, she began documenting achievements meticulously. She created what she calls success circles, groups of colleagues who committed to amplifying each other's contributions in meetings and ensuring proper attribution of ideas. We had to become each other's witnesses, she explained. In a system that renders you invisible, being seen becomes a revolutionary act. This approach yielded remarkable results. In departments where these success circles operated, promotion rates for Black women increased by 34% over 2 years. Retention improved dramatically. And perhaps most significantly, innovation flourished as more diverse perspectives were genuinely incorporated into decision making. But SaToria's insights extend beyond workplace strategies. She spoke eloquently about the importance of what she calls whole self leadership, rejecting the false choice between authenticity and advancement. For too long, she told me, Black women have been told that success requires leaving crucial parts of themselves at the door, their cultural expressions, their perspectives, their lived experiences. But the truth is that these very differences are what enable us to see solutions others miss. She shared the story of a product development team she led that was struggling with a seemingly intractable design problem. The breakthrough came when she drew on her experience growing up in a multi generational household where resources were shared creatively. This perspective, directly informed by her cultural background, led to an innovative approach that ultimately became the company's most successful product launch that year. Imagine, she said, how many solutions we're missing because we've created workplaces where people feel they must hide the very experiences that make them unique. This brings me to another powerful concept SaToria introduced: intentional inclusion. This goes beyond diversity initiatives that focus primarily on hiring. Intentional inclusion means creating environments where everyone can contribute fully. She described implementing a meeting protocol where the first 10 minutes were dedicated to hearing from those who hadn't spoken in the previous meeting. The results were remarkable, not just in terms of equity, but in terms of business outcomes. Problems were identified earlier, solutions were more comprehensive, and team cohesion improved dramatically. The irony, SaToria noted, is that the very barriers that hold Black women back are also holding our organizations back. When we solve for the most marginalized, we create systems that work better for everyone. This insight challenges the conventional wisdom that diversity initiatives are primarily about fairness or corporate social responsibility. The evidence suggests they're actually about effectiveness. Companies with greater gender and racial diversity consistently outperform their less diverse competitors. The most innovative solutions emerge from teams with diverse perspectives. The most resilient organizations are those that can draw on a wide range of experiences and approaches. SaToria shared a powerful quote from Audre Lorde that guides her work. It is not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. This brings me to what I believe is the most transformative aspect of SaToria's approach: The recognition that breaking barriers isn't just about helping Black women navigate broken systems, it's about fixing the systems themselves. She described a leadership development program she created specifically designed around the experiences of Black women. Rather than focusing exclusively on how individuals could adapt to existing structures, the program identified the structural barriers themselves and equipped participants with tools to change them. Participants learned not just on how to succeed individually, but how to create opportunities for others. They develop skills not just in navigating bias, but in addressing it directly. They focus not just on climbing the corporate ladder, but on redesigning it. The results were extraordinary. Program graduates didn't just advance in their careers. Though 78% received promotions within 18 months, they also became powerful change agents within their organizations. They implemented new hiring practices, reformed performance review systems, and created mentorship programs that benefited everyone. As SaToria put it, when you empower those who have experienced the most barriers, they don't just break through them, they dismantle them so others don't have to face them at all. This approach represents a fundamental shift in how we think about workplace equity. Instead of asking how marginalized groups can better fit into existing structures, we ask how we can transform those structures to benefit from the full range of human talent and potential. Satoria shared a powerful affirmation that encapsulates this philosophy. I'm not here to fit into systems that weren't designed for me. I am here to transform them for everyone who comes after me. So I stand before you today with an urgent challenge. The invisible ceiling is real, but it is not immovable. Each of us has the power, and I would argue the responsibility to dismantle it. If you're a leader, examine your systems. Ask the uncomfortable questions: who gets promoted and why? Whose voices are heard in meetings? Who receives the benefit of the doubt when mistakes happen? Then commit to measurable change. If you're a colleague, become an active witness. Amplify voices that go unheard. Ensure ideas are properly attributed. Speak up when you see bias, even when, especially when it's uncomfortable. And if you're facing these barriers yourself, know this: your struggle is not a reflection of your worth, but of a system that desperately needs transformation. Your perspective is not a liability, but your greatest strength. And you are not alone. The future of work, the future we all deserve, depends on our collective courage to see these invisible barriers and our commitment to breaking them down, not just for some, but for all. Because when we create workplaces where everyone can contribute fully, we all thrive. The question is not whether we can afford to transform our workplaces. The question is whether we can afford not to. The talent we waste, the innovation we lose, the human potential we leave untapped, these are costs too great for any society to bear. I challenge you to leave here today and become an architect of change. Have the conversations that matter. Question the systems you participate in. And above all, commit to creating spaces where excellence is recognized regardless of who displays it. The ceiling may be concrete, but our determination must be stronger. The barriers may be invisible to some, but our vision must be clearer. The change may seem impossible, but our resolve must be unshakable. Together, we can build workplaces and a world where talent truly can rise, where innovation can flourish, and where we all benefit from the full spectrum of human brilliance. Not someday, but now. Not for some, but for all. Thank you.